So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what Candace got to say. First of all, once again, I do have to pay my respects to Candace regarding this investigation. I once again, I am a person who's disagreed with Candace Owens on George Floyd, who's disagreed with Candace Owens on a lot of issues, obviously regarding the Black community. She's seemed to stay away from those issues since she's made her transition away from the Daily Wire. Excuse me. I am one of those people who actually doesn't believe that's a coincidence. I feel like she was hired with the very specific goal and the very specific purpose at both TPUSA and the Daily Wire to be the Black woman who talks about Black people. That was her purpose. I think when she got away from that, she made she made a genuine pivot where I can say, honestly, I don't always agree with everything she says, but I can see the work she's putting in to try and get down to the truth. And as a journalist, I respect it. As a person who's had to grow within this space, within my understanding of politics, within my understanding of social dynamics and issues, and really navigating the space, period, I respect it. And once again, I didn't like Charlie Kirk. Everybody knows that. But what I also can respect as an individual, as a person, as a friend, as a father, as a husband, as a person who, if I was popped, y'all better be out there trying to figure out who killed me instead of going on Twitter and saying that, oh no, you're hurting Niko's family by trying to get the truth out of the FBI. I swear to God, I'm coming back and haunting everybody who doesn't go and try to find the person who killed me, because, ladies and gentlemen, let me let y'all know something. I'm not suicidal. Neither is Candace Owens. All right, let's go ahead and put that out there. So I respect her for trying her damnedest to expose the truth about the murder of her friend. I mean this with every fiber of my being. As a person who values my friends, what is weird is not Candace's dedication to trying to figure out the truth about her friend, his organization, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's weird is how y'all keep trying to gaslight her and attack her for trying to get down to the truth. That shit's weird. Like, Candace isn't being weird. You guys are being weird. She's out here trying to figure, like, literally putting in the work, getting tips, getting videos, investigating, asking questions. And y'all are out there on Twitter, oh my God, you're hurting his family. Oh my God, you're so selfish. Oh my God, you're grifting. No, investigative journalism, the way that she's doing right now regarding the Tyler Robinson situation and Charlie Kirk and et cetera, like, that's not grifting at all. That's actual journalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if you were looking for the antithesis of Laura Loomer, like, that's basically what is going on. She's the opposite of Laura Loomer. This is actual journalism. Whatever the hell y'all got going on is weird. And it's weird that you would attack someone's friend for trying to figure out why the government, the big government that you conservatives allegedly do not trust, why they keep lying, why they keep getting caught being inconsistent, why they are avoiding looking for the videos and the content that could help them figure out exactly what happened, why they are gaslighting us into trying to believe that there was a lone shooter, that he shot a 30-06, which is a crazy gun to shoot, and the entrance and exit wound is like this. That's like not a thing, but okay. Y'all are being weird. And I think Candace has finally reached her limit, if this video is any indication. So let's check it out.
About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright, okay? Charlie was done. He said it explicitly, that he refused to be bullied anymore by the Jewish donors. Can you guys answer? Did he express that? Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself? And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion could happen. It's a yes or a no. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving, okay? There is no way you are letting these lies fly unless, as I am hearing, unless it is true that there was a big payday that was on the line. And if Charlie radically stated that he was done with Israel, if Charlie said he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause because of, and I quote, Jewish donors, the behavior of Jewish donors, if he said that, yes or no, well then, I don't know, maybe some people didn't want to take that risk that he was going to, become Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson at Turning Point USA with all of those presences, so much presence across college campuses. Maybe they didn't want to take the chance.
Yo, there's a lot to unpack there, y'all. There is a lot to unpack there. And I gotta say, Turning Point USA got some questions to answer. They really do. Because as Candace said so eloquently right here, it's really just a yes or a no. Like all of her questions seem to be very simple or seem to require very simple yes or no answers. Like, did he say, because I mean, y'all, if he came out and said that he was going to have to abandon the pro-Israel movement, that's not small. Like, y'all know how I feel about Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk abandoning completely and totally the pro-Israel movement and specifically citing Jewish donors as the reason, that ain't small potatoes. That is not innocuous. That is not inconsequential, because we all know at this point, regardless of some of the major popular figures that may speak as represent or represent Turning Point on social media, we all know that Turning Point effectively would go the way Charlie goes. And I mean, there were a lot of people already heading in that direction before Charlie explicitly came out and even started questioning. And to be clear, those questions that he asked that everybody initially thought could potentially be the cause or motive behind Israel doing the deed, like those questions were tepid. They were basic. Hey man, what do you think about the fact that people are calling this a genocide? It's a genocide. Like, come on, they weren't really. Like, I mean, okay, the stand down order, that was a serious one, because the stand down order did happen, and then once you start digging deeper, you kind of figure out, oh shit, this is a habit, this is a problem, this is a pattern, this isn't a one-off, and then you start looking into the stocks that got sold, in advance, and the cons are getting moved. Oh, yeah, okay, that was a serious one, but outside of that, right? If this man was coming out and saying that he was about to abandon completely and totally the pro-Israel movement, that is a rift, not unlike what we saw happen in 2016. Let me explain. Do y'all remember how TYT became so disgustingly famous? It was because of them latching themselves on to the Bernie Sanders movement. And then Medicare for all, right? And then like all the policies that Bernie was pushing. Although Bernie just turned out to be a fraud, that was effectively what happened, right? I ran the largest Bernie Sanders organization in the world. That organization wasn't as popular as it was because of Niko. Yeah, I had something to do with it, but it was really because of Bernie and everybody being unified at that time behind the message Bernie had put out, right? And it was largely pushed and propagated by the youth. But do you guys remember what caused the left to split and fracture? It was when the people like myself, I helped to found the DNC fraud. I'm a co-founder of the DNC fraud lawsuit. I caught Hillary Clinton's campaign cheating in real time, provided proof. Then WikiLeaks dropped all the documents proving that I was right. So, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, TYT, I may not always agree with Cenk. I may not always agree with Anna, but they're most certainly not about to legitimize this devil, this she-devil of a witch. After all of the evidence shows she cheated, right? Logically, right? That was my logical conclusion, and as well as many leftists. Yeah, that's not what happened. We got the opposite. They were like, we're insane for thinking she cheated, and Russia. That was the moment the left split. The MAGA movement was able to thrive. Trump took advantage, and the rest is history. The Democrats have still been trying to close that or fill that crack that they created themselves, really, but that was really created starting 2015, 2016, whenever the largest leftist, quote unquote, program decided they were going to go this way, and the rest of us with integrity went the opposite direction. When the TYT and Jimmy Dore split happened, right? After they took that Katzenberg $20 million or so. Okay, now fast forward. If what Candace is saying is true, we are about to see, or we could have seen, the exact same thing happen with the Republicans and the MAGA movement. Because if Charlie has to make the decision that he is no longer going to be pro-Israel, what does that mean? There's going to have to be some inevitable accountability thrown at the direction of Donald Trump. You know, the friend that was so just taken aback, so hurt by Charlie Kirk's death, that he just kept mentioning his ballroom and how they just installed a new ballroom and how it looks great. That guy. Because obviously Candace took a huge step at one point, and people were really wondering if she was ever going to make that step. When she criticized Trump, and it wasn't just on Israel, I think she criticized Trump on a couple of issues, but Israel being the main one. She criticized Trump bending over backwards for Netanyahu. Candace doing it, huge. Tucker Carlson doing it, huge. Neither of them are running the largest conservative organization in the country, principally driven by youth. In the same fashion, Bernie's movement was principally driven by the youth movement. So if Charlie decides, I'm over, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, and now everybody in his movement is like, yeah, we're gonna go wherever he goes. That's what we usually do. So what happens to MAGA? What happens to MAGA? And TPUSA, every day that they do not respond to this accusation, they're running the risk of fracturing their organization, fracturing the movement, fracturing the loyalty to the organization and to the MAGA movement anyway. Because I guarantee you, no matter how many videos you throw up there, no matter how many freedom shirts you put on, no matter how many freaking photos y'all put up, pretending to give a damn that Charlie is dead, pretending that it's the radical left that was responsible for it, no matter, like, people are watching. People are watching because that organization was really Charlie, right? Like, let's be honest. It wasn't Erika. It wasn't those randos. They can put as many people up there to try to fill his. But like, as a person who disliked Charlie, I'm telling y'all, it was clearly where Charlie went, TPUSA went. As a person who did not like him, that fact is not lost upon me. And if you're pretending like that's not the case, then you're an idiot. Do you think that the MAGA movement, like the actual elite of the MAGA movement, wanted that? You think they want to deal with that problem? You think they wanted to deal with Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson? All three of them coming out and criticizing Israel to varying degrees? I mean, y'all saw what happened when Jimmy Dore left TYT. That man had Sam Cedar, Anna Kasparian, Emma Vigilant, fucking Jank, all of them on the ropes. And he was like the only one that popular in the space at the time. And he had them blah, 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 blah. Blow, 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 bow, bow. Imagine those three all criticizing Israel and eventually, by necessity, having to criticize the Trump administration for constantly bending over backwards to Israel and acting contrary to what one would assume would be America first interests. So that is a kind of a yes or a no. Is it true or is it not true? Also, Candace Owens left, what was it, 2019, 2018 when she left TPUSA? Yeah, it was after that Hitler comment. But if I'm Candace and I'm saying, he gets his head blown off 2 days before we're about to go on stage together and announce that I'm rejoining TPUSA, that he feels comfortable bringing me back on specifically because it is like a rebellion, an act of rebellion against the Zionist donors that are threatening him, that are economically blackmailing him, etc. Like, why would you say that unless you are prepared to release receipts? And once again, in all fairness to Candace, over the last 2-3 months, she's been all about releasing receipts. If she says she contacted somebody and she's planning on releasing the receipts the moment they get back to her, she's done so. In expeditious fashion, by the way. Like, it's the turnaround on Candace's claim to have receipts and then boom, dropping them hoes recently has been like insane. So if she's putting this out there and then saying, I dare y'all to respond, it's a yes or a no. The answer it's like whenever, like you guys who have kids, I got a 6-year-old, right? My 6-year-old has still not caught on to the concept that when his parents ask something with, yes, it's an interrogative statement, but it's like interrogative, but I know the answer, my guy. Like, it's interrogative with certainty mixed in there. Like, hey, bro, did you do this? I'm not really asking because I want to know if you did it, bro. There's no other possibility. I know you did it. I got the receipts too. Ain't nobody else been here, and this is at your height level, and this is a pattern of behavior for you. I'm just asking to figure out when you did it and if you're gonna tell the truth. Like, basically, it is like that type of situation. Because we know they're not gonna respond, to be completely honest. And when those receipts do drop, man, all hell about to break loose. That organization might rip apart. Because they've been on this shtick of we're proceeding forward the way Charlie Kirk has wanted us to. The way Charlie Kirk would want us to. Like I asked the other day, so are y'all gonna put together that task force to figure out what's going on with the money that Charlie was worried about, because it wasn't just the money that was being spent, but it was the mysterious circumstances in which money was coming in, and he didn't know where the money was coming from. Are y'all going to continue that? Because there hasn't been any mention of it. But we know for a fact, because we saw the receipts, that is exactly what Charlie wanted. Okay, so if they planned an event together, this is TPUSA. It wasn't one person. Two people in this particular case. It wasn't Charlie and Candace planning an entire event for TPUSA on their reunion. It would have been multiple people involved, namely Erika, which is an aspect that no one's talking about. And probably because Candace has gone out of her way to not mention her directly in these criticisms of TPUSA, except for in this particular case, it feels like she did mention Erika and is pissed at Erika, but she's mentioning her indirectly. Because what did she say in the video? She said she made two massive statements that caught my, the Israel thing is like crazy. Okay, cool, that one. But two things that I'm like, bro, I feel like she's like this close to finally just coming out and saying Erika's name. But she knows once she drops her name, there's no going back. She knows that. And I think that is what is preventing her. She's trying to get Erika to do the right thing before all hell breaks loose, because there is no going back after that. But here are two things that she said that let me know that she's likely indirectly talking to Erika. She specifically said what? She didn't just say TPUSA. She said the executives at TPUSA. The executives at TPUSA. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, who is the executive at TPUSA? Who was just named the CEO of TPUSA? Erika Kirk. If the task force were to be pursued, who would be the one to ensure that it was carried out the way Charlie wanted? It would be Erika Kirk. If someone were to know truthfully that Charlie, one, was cutting off all pro-Israel relationships between him and the organization and Israel, and two, planned on bringing Candace Owens back, and he was killed right after they had that conversation. You know who would know? Erika. And you know who would be able to carry out his desire to bring Candace back into the fold, which, by the way, would be a financially genius move. Like, it's almost financial malpractice to not bring her back. Given how fame, I mean, girls drive, bro. Every time Candace opens her mouth, bro, I don't know the last time I've seen somebody, and this is just from a content creator perspective, bro. This woman is doing live streams every day and is getting millions of views every day. Like, Tucker's not even doing that. Tucker got to go through a whole thing, do interviews, and shit. He gonna get his 3-4 million. You know, he might get that 5-6 million, but it's gonna be some time in between. Candace is dropping live streams every single day and is getting millions of views every single day. Why wouldn't Turning Point bring her back? That would be a smart business move, Erika. But you haven't even mentioned, like, you can't be in the middle of this. Your husband is dead. Your husband's friend, who he supposedly was about to bring back into the organization, has been talking about this nonstop, has viral video after viral video after viral video. You have just been named the CEO of your husband's organization, and you're going to pretend like you don't see her? Come on, bro. Which brings me to the next comment that she mentioned, the Truman Show. For those of you who don't know what Candace Owens said that she's looking around at everybody. She didn't say everybody except, did she? No. She said, I'm looking around at everybody in Charlie's life. And it feels like Charlie was living the Truman Show, which is a movie about Jim Carrey, who was raised in a city since a child, and every single thing he did was being recorded. Everyone around him was an extra. The woman that he originally wanted was carried out, moved to Fiji. You all know the story. And he had a wife, a fake wife, constantly smiling. Oh, also turned out to be blonde, by the way. Constantly glitching whenever he would mention something like, I want to move to Fiji. You seeing this? They're going on a loop behind me. It's a loop. The same pattern is happening. I open the elevator, and she just, and her job was to make sure that he doesn't figure out the truth. His best friend, his job was to make sure they don't figure out the truth. And the world was watching. Everyone knew it was fake. And one of my favorite quotes from the movie, everything is real. What do you mean? Everything that you're watching is real. It's just being controlled. Because I watched it again as an adult. I tried to watch it when I was young, and I couldn't get into it because that's not a traditional Jim Carrey role. I'm 36. Y'all know my Jim Carrey. It's like The Mask. That's what In Living Color. Even Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik and Sonic is like, bro, they couldn't have cast a better person to play Dr. Robotnik. I'm gonna be honest with you. He did a perfect job. So when I tried to watch it as a youth, I remember they put it on for one of my high school classes. Actually, I think it was my theater arts class. Because it was using examples, staying in character, breaking character, et cetera, et cetera. I fell asleep. I watched it again a couple of years ago, and I'm because somebody told me, you got to watch this movie. So when Candace said that, I was like, oh shit, she's talking about Erika. She's talking about Erika. Yeah, she's talking about TPUSA. Yeah, she's talking about Benny Johnson. Yeah, she's talking about Donald Trump. Yeah, she's talking about Kash Patel. She's talking about all of them. Yes. But also, first and foremost, principally, she's talking about Erika. That's who she's talking about. I mean, because it was, everybody around Truman was a paid actor. But who was the closest? And in that movie, if you guys remember, they put the most effort into curating and controlling the relationship between Truman and who? His wife. Even making sure they got rid of the other woman that was trying to tell him the truth. And in this case, not saying that Charlie and Candace had a thing. I don't think they did. That's a whole different conversation. But I don't think they did. But remember that they gaslighted Truman and was saying she has mental issues. She's schizophrenic. It's a problem. It runs in the family. She doesn't know what she's talking about. We're going to ship her off. Just so that he would make sure to stay with, fall in love with, and get married to his wife. I believe her name was Meryl. Bruh, when she made that Truman Show comment, I was like, yo, I think she's talking about Eric. Because you can't make both comments. Think about it. If you've seen the Truman Show, like Candace, as of late, hasn't said anything just by coincidence. Right? So you make those two you're like, all these things that you're like the executives. Well, the main executive is Erika. Oh, I know that he was going to cut off Israel, and we had an event planned, or we were planning an event for me to come back to TPUSA, and it was going to be a huge deal. Erika wouldn't know that. Because if she didn't and wouldn't have known that, that's even stranger to make her CEO when apparently Charlie wasn't discussing operations with her. That would be even weirder. So I hope y'all don't come out with that fucking excuse. Okay? And then to make the specific reference to the Truman Show. It's like she is, hey, Erika, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I'm giving you the opportunity to do the right thing. Don't make me do it. I'm giving you the opportunity. Erika, don't make me, listen, y'all see the videos that I put out about Erika. Do y'all know how many times Candace has been tagged in those videos? Like, I can't even tell you. Between I didn't even post on TikTok. I just thought I was going to get banned or something like that. But other people posted it. People were tagging Candace there. People have tagged Candace on YouTube. People have tagged Candace over and over and over and over and over and over again on X. Over and over. I mean, hundreds to, if not thousands of times. I know she's seen the videos. I know she's seen the questions. I know she's seen the information. Y'all saw my video. Everybody feel real comfortable talking about Erika now. Nobody want to talk about Erika before, right? You saw some obscure accounts with not a lot of following, kind of like, hey man, Erika's behavior kind of weird. It wasn't anybody else that was like, let me go figure this out. Everybody felt a little bit more comfortable talking about her now that I was able to find the receipts and put two and two together. And Candace has been tagged in all those videos because that's what she requests on her show, right? Instead of sending videos to her email, like the tips@candace.com, she specifically says, tag me. So I know she's seen them. So if you are Candace and you are, I understand the desire to be sensitive to the wife, the widow of a man that you were very close with. I understand her desire to give Erika every single opportunity to do the right thing. I understand it. And I respect her actually for it. People were like, why won't she just go after Erika when I'm like, because I probably wouldn't do that either. Not at the beginning. But it is not, so now it isn't just that Erika is allowing lies to be told about Charlie Kirk's legacy, Charlie Kirk's organization, Charlie Kirk's intentions. But nah, I'm over here being overly sensitive to your situation while you out here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I am so excited to take over my husband's organization. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. I'm CEO. Fuck you guys. I'm excited as shit. 100 million. Like you're not being sensitive to your husband's situation as much as I am. But while I'm trying to be sensitive to you and not call you out, your ass is letting the world talk shit about me as I'm trying to get down to the truth about your husband. Why the hell would I continue to be sensitive to you? You let his pastor come out and attack me, call me a conspiracy theorist. Candace hasn't, Candace's information regarding the situation specifically in in Utah, for example, bro, she's out here getting primary source information. Hey, it's impressive. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, it's impressive as hell. You gonna call her a conspiracy? She's getting videos that no one's ever seen. She's getting firsthand accounts that no one has ever seen. Regarding TPUSA, she's reaching directly out to TPUSA people and getting emails that y'all never thought would be seen. Getting names mentioned that y'all never thought would be seen. And apparently, she got text messages and receipts that we still haven't seen. And you are letting all these people come out and attack her. So at one point, is Candace going to be like, all right, Erika, fine. If that's what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. Because I got to